Hello, everyone. How are you today? I want to welcome you to another great episode of With All My Heart. I'm Camille Cannon, and on today's show, we have the pleasure of getting to know Mr. Damon Hurst. Thank you
All
so much
right.
for being here.
Yeah, no. Thank you for having me. It's exciting and we're really looking forward to our talk today.
Great. So, Mr. Hurst is an awesome banker with Frost Bank. And he is a father and a husband and a wonderful, outstanding person to know, influencer in the community that's helping people in the community with all the frost banks in the Las Colinas and Irving area. So so glad that you took your time out of your day to tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and how you can help the community and serve the community. So first, I want to ask you, where are you originally from?
Originally, so born and raised in Waco, Texas. So that's where I grew up. I'm sure a lot of people know Waco from Chip and Joanna. You know,
Mhm.
they kind of put Waco on the map. And it's funny too, because I haven't lived there in, a lot of years. But when I tell people I'm from Waco, they immediately go to Chip and Joanna as if I still live there. But no, it's been great for the city. It's definitely put Waco on the map for a lot of positive things, and there's a lot of
Mhm.
growth there. Every time I go back home, there's always buildings or construction going up, and so, but yeah, that's where I grew up, born and raised. Mom was a nurse, dad was a teacher. So had a very service-oriented upbringing. Obviously didn't decide to go into those career paths, but still serving people, and I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned from growing up is just, how to serve, taking care of people. There's a lot of different ways on how you can serve. I mean, what you do in real estate is a form
Mhm.
of service, and so I think it's just important when we can just find our way and find our path. And I learned a lot of that, growing up there in Waco.
Awesome. So, um, describe your business for me. Tell me, what is a personal banker? Tell the people in the community what
Yeah,
a personal banker.
Yeah, absolutely. The way I would describe a banker is, someone who's a partner and a resource to the families. We each have our own unique financial journey, and we're all at different stages of life. And
Mhm.
so, when I think of, at least what I try to be as a banker, or what bankers should be, is a partner and a resource to help people navigate through their unique circumstances and situation for where they are in their season of life, but also where they want to go. And so I think, at the core of a strong banking relationship is in fact the word relationship,
Right.
which is built on trust over time, and really getting to know your clients, the needs, the family, and then separating it also not just from a business relationship, but also knowing them personally and adding a little personal touch. Because there's a lot of banking institutions out there, a lot of places where people can put their money, but I find a lot of times it's really more transactional than anything else, and
Mhm.
just a place where people just keep their money because that's just kind of what you do. So I think for me, a really good personal banking relationship is the foundation is trust, is a relationship, is developed over time, and really just truly trying to find out where you can be a resource and a partner to the individuals and families or businesses as well that you're serving.
Okay. Perfect. Now, why did you choose this profession as a private banker, personal banker?
It was
Why
really curious.
Frost?
And
Also,
why fraud?
why
Yeah.
Frost?
It was really curiosity. Growing up, like I mentioned before, my mom was a nurse and my dad was a teacher. So I really, didn't have a traditional financial education growing up. And so
Mhm.
it really wasn't until I went to college up here in Dallas, and started to get in an environment where there was, more wealth around, that I started to kind of get curious, and started to understand like, okay, well, there's a little bit more to life than maybe what I saw growing up.
Mhm.
And so I think it was curiosity first.
Okay.
And when it came to banking specifically, banking for me was just really a learning opportunity. But I understood that banking is really a core of the financial industry.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gave me an opportunity to kind of go behind the scenes, so to say, to learn about things like, well, what is credit, right?
Yeah.
Why do banks lend money? Why do people put their money in banks? How is this safe? What's investing? So I felt like, I went to an institution that could kind of give me that education on the job. So essentially I was getting paid to learn is how I looked at it. And so, and it gave me an education, but then also not just for myself, but for my family, and once I kind of better understood, just how the financial world works, then hopefully I can use that experience, not only help the clients that I was serving, but then also maybe, help to put my own family on a different track with a little bit more education than maybe I had myself coming up. So really curiosity is what led me into banking initially.
Okay. Tell us something most people don't know about Frost Bank.
I think probably the thing that comes to mind is, how big we actually are, because I think a lot of times when people think of Frost, I mean, we're only in Texas. So as far as like an actual location, so I think a lot of times people think, we may be kind of more like a credit union.
Mm-hmm.
But Frost is, one of the top 50 banks in the country, even though we're only in Texas,
Oh,
and we are publicly traded. So, I mean, so we're definitely not a small company. But I think the compliment to that, though, that I think people are really saying is, we do have more of a community bank type of feel because
uh-huh.
of how intentional we are about being in the communities that we serve. So actually being part of the communities that we're in. And so I think that has more of a community bank type feel. But then when people start to learn about us, they find out, well, they have a lot of the resources of the
Mm-hmm.
larger national banks, so we can do a lot with them. But we definitely put an emphasis on the relationship and the persons and individuals and businesses on a
Mm-hmm.
more personal style approach, which is similar to like a community bank. So I think just the size of Frost is something I think that really is probably something people don't know. And also, we've been around since, for 155 years.
Wow.
So we have been around since the 1800s. So not only are we probably larger than people think, but we also have been around longer than what people would expect too. So.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't even know that. So wow, that is awesome. Um, so tell me, what motivates you to get up and come to Frost Bank and serve the people in the community?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a couple things. I think one is being an example for my family. I have all daughters, and so just being an example, hopefully, of the provider side of what a man should be. There's a lot of sides to that, right? So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
just going to say that's the only one, but just
Right.
also leading by example for them. Someday when they get their husband, right? But also, I think just living up to my own potential. I think one of my biggest fears in life is I don't live up to the person and the man that God created me to be. And a part of that is serving. It's my work. There's a lot of facets to that, but I know we're talking about work right now.
Yeah,
So just living up to that and not feeling like at the end of my race that there was more I could have done. And I think right now at this season of life I'm in, impact is something that's really big on my heart and on my mind right now. So being a force for good, really truly feeling like I'm making a difference for people. And I know
mm-hmm.
when it comes to finances, I mean, this is a subject a lot of times it's tough for people to talk to with their own family. So I
Exactly.
know, what I do is a big responsibility and I don't take it lightly. And so, just find out how I can make an impact. So I think what motivates me is just knowing that I have an opportunity each day I come to work to make a big difference in someone's life and make an impact to hopefully get them to where they want to be for their family financially. So
Okay. Yeah. One of the things that I really like about you that impacted me was the way that you make people feel like family when they meet you, and um, I guess you give off that family vibe. So that's what I want the people in the Las Colinas community to understand about when you're serving the people at Frost Bank. You feel like family. Um, what is your most memorable customer or client, if you will?
yeah, I mean that's yeah, kind of made me think on that one. I think there's a lot of ways I can go with that, but
Mm-hmm.
I think probably the most impactful was early on in my career.
Mhm.
And so I helped I helped a guy who just moved over to the U.S. He was from another country, didn't speak the language too well, but he was just kind of, getting started in his life here in the U.S. And so
Mhm.
we helped him open his first bank account. And so I think you mentioned feeling like family. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just kind of in me, right? I'm a big family guy, and so I was just, really relationship focused. So I think, I probably gave that energy when we met, and
Yes.
he was just like, hey, you're my guy, right? He's like, you're
Yeah.
my guy for everything. And it's nice to hear, and people say that, and you're like, hey, that's great. Thank you for thinking of me like that. But it was true for him, and so going from opening his first bank account
Mhm.
to he started to do pretty well, and so we talked about, hey, let's think about opening savings now. You got a lot that you're building up in your checking. Well, what is a savings account? So I had to go through that education with him. And then that progressed even further to, hey, Damon, I want to buy a house one day. Okay, well, what do we need to do that? So we started talking about credit and how to build credit. So we got him his first credit card. He kept saving, and the next thing you know, we were able to help him buy a house,
Yeah.
and that progressed from there. And he got to the point to where now he was ready to start investing. And so we had the conversation about investing, why that's important, how to grow your money. And that progressed even more from there because it led him to opening his own business, which we also helped him to do that as well. And through that whole period, this is of course over several years,
Mhm.
he had family that was starting to come from overseas, and every family member, from his parents to his brother, his cousins, uncles, everybody, he was like, "Hey, go see Demont." So not only did I get a chance to really truly help him through his journey, he started to also introduce his family to me, and he was like, "Hey, this is our guy. This is our banker." So when you talk about making an impact, you talk about relationship. I mean,
Mhm.
that's not a transactional deal. It took years and years to establish that trust, and and it just grew to a great relationship that really helped him progress his own life and his family here in the States, and to being someone who just a few years ago was in a brand new country, didn't know anybody, to now, he's building wealth. He's
That's
building wealth,
wonderful.
and he has a better lifestyle for his family. And obviously huge credit to him. I mean, majority of that is him, right?
Right.
But I felt like I played maybe a small part in just being a resource to maybe help him kind of navigate some things that he did not know being in a new country. And it was rewarding to really see that.
Um, Another reason why I wanted to introduce you to the community in Las Colinas is because I know that you have the same values and where you wanted to add value to your clients. I know I received an email from you that gave an education on some of the banking aspects that you offer, and it added value to me, and it can also add value to my clients. So that's one of the reasons why I think you are an asset to the community. Um, so with that said, is there anything exciting going on that the customers should know about in Las Colinas?
There actually is. So at the beginning of, or towards the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, we actually started an expansion here in the Dallas area. So at the beginning of 22, we had roughly maybe 15 locations in the greater Dallas area. And so, we're on a plan right now, an expansion
Mhm.
plan. And so by, middle of next year, we hope to have a total of 44. So basically almost tripling our branch locations here in the greater Dallas area. But one of the things, like I mentioned earlier, is it's not just about opening branches, right? We really want to be a part of the communities that we serve and that we're in. So the bank has been really thoughtful about how we want to do that.
Mhm.
But the expansion's been going great, and so as a result of that, we actually will be opening a location in the Las Colinas community here very, very soon. We actually have our groundbreaking ceremony that'll be taking place in July. And
Yes.
so we'll get construction started, and hopefully either end of this year, early next year, we will be in Las Colinas. So that's really exciting. And for the branches that we've already opened up in the area, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. From a lot of the communities that we're in, and so it's been exciting. So I'll say that's probably the most exciting thing that we have going on right now, and we're super thrilled to be coming over to Las Colinas.
Yay. All right. Now, before we wrap up, if anyone watching or listening wants to get in touch with you or come check out your services, how can they do so?
Yeah, great question. So, and I don't know if because we didn't talk about this before, how we want to do this, but I'm sure I could probably maybe leave contact information on the site, or where
Mhm.
people can reach out to. Also, LinkedIn is I'm pretty active there as well too, and love to connect there for anybody who's open to having conversations. So, we can find my LinkedIn page. I don't know if maybe that's a link I could share with you to also put somewhere on the page as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, phone call, email, LinkedIn, those are all three great ways to be able to connect. And yeah, and like I said, we're so excited to be part of the community. Like I said, the expansion has been going really well so far, and
okay.
we, really excited about Las Colinas, and feel really good that hopefully we'll have, the same reception, hopefully, that we've had in our other areas that we've opened up. So, and thank you for giving me the opportunity also to come on and to meet the community and to be part of the great stuff that you're doing as well too. So it's very exciting.
Great. And we look forward to seeing you at the Las Colinas grand opening. Like I will be there, thankfully. Well, God willing. And I want to say a huge thank you to Frost Bank for allowing you to come on to the show and express to the community how wonderful Frost Bank is and you are. This is going to wrap up our episode of With All My Heart. If you enjoyed our conversation today, I'd be thrilled if you could show some love by hitting the like button. And hey, if there's something you didn't quite vibe with you, let us know by hitting the dislike button, because your feedback matters. I want to hear from you, whether you have questions, feedback, or simply want to share your opinion. Together we can give our community the exposure it deserves. Now, your engagement plays a vital role in supporting local businesses, professionals, and leaders in our community. And by interacting with this content, you're telling the platforms to share it with more people. So I want to encourage you to share it on social media, on any platforms that you have, and I'm going to share it. Thank you in advance for your valuable support. And speaking of supporting local professionals, if you're considering buying or selling a house in Las Colinas, I'm your friendly local real estate agent. I'm with Coldwell Banker, and I experience deep understanding and love for Las Colinas area, and I can guide you toward the perfect home and negotiate better deals for you. So whether you're ready to make a move or simply just want to talk about real estate, I'm here for you. My number is 214-952-3311. I'm Camille Cannon Realtor at gmail.com or CamilleCannonRealtor.com for my website. That concludes our show for today. I'm willing to help you with all my heart here in Las Colinas. Thank you so much.